Brilliance Audio presents Ambush by Barbara Nickless, performed by Emily Sutton Smith. I arrived in Mexico City at 2 p.m. on a blazing August day with a toothbrush and a change of clothes, a lowly railroad cop and former Marine searching for a lost child. By early evening, I'd picked up a tail. A wiry man with tattoos and a chain-smoking habit had taken up residence on the roof across the alley from my hotel. In addition to an apparently endless supply of cigarettes, he'd brought a nylon folding chair, binoculars, a flask, a penlight, and a tattered copy of Love in the Time of Cholera, which he traded for the binoculars every time I twitched a muscle. Just what I liked, an educated spy. Or pervert, or whatever. I'd noticed him earlier, in line behind me at the airport's taxi kiosk. He'd been smoking Marlboros and standing too close, the Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel stuffed into the pocket of his carry-on. When I finished buying a ticket, he'd thrust out his tongue in a lewd gesture as I walked away. In return, I'd shot him the finger behind my back. Now, here he was. Call it a draw. I stood near the window, just far enough back in the shadows that he had to strain to see me. In the alley 2 floors below, a man careened from one side of the lane to the other like a billiard ball, his voice raised in a slurred melody of love. "Encontrare a mi amor esta noche," he sang. "Y la tomare en mi brazos." I smiled. Good luck with that, my drunken friend. Odors wafted in, rotting garbage, the acrid bite of pollution, roasting meat from a nearby taco stand, and the stink of the spy's cigarettes that made me wish I hadn't sworn off tobacco. Close by, horns blared, traffic droned, and sirens wailed. Even closer, someone yelled, and someone else laughed. Metal grinders whirred and a hammer rang against steel. In La Ciudad de Mexico, people not only drove on the streets, they used them as open-air body shops. Welcome to one of the largest metropolitan areas in the Western Hemisphere. A rush of longing filled me for my own city of Denver, for my man, Cohen, and my Belgian Malinois partner, Clyde. What the hell was I doing here? Almost 2,000 miles away from all that I loved, searching for a needle in a haystack. "Because you love Malik, too," whispered a voice in my head. "The orphan you promised to care for." I bounced on the balls of my feet. Across the alleyway, the man on the rooftop raised his binoculars. His presence forced me to rethink how I'd work my time here. Only 3 people knew I hadn't come to Mexico to soak up some culture and tequila. The first was David Fuller. David ran the Hope Project, a nonprofit that helped Iraqis displaced by war. He had given me the tip that brought me here and was one of the most sincere people I knew. The second was Angelo Garcia, a local postal clerk. Angelo volunteered for the Hope Project and was one of a handful of contacts Fuller trusted enough to enlist in the search for Malik. A week ago, Angelo had spotted a boy matching Malik's description in a local mosque. He'd notified Fuller, who passed the information along to me. A friend in the FBI's Denver field office informed me that Angelo was 32 years old, no criminal history, married with 2 young children. His only apparent vice was that he sometimes slipped out early from work to take his kids to a Cruz Azul soccer match. As a potential risk, Angelo pinged my radar in the slim to none category. Plus, he had no reason to put a tail on me. He knew exactly where I was because he'd arranged the hotel. The third person who knew I was here was Detective Mike Cohen of the Denver PD. While I trusted Fuller and even Angelo with my life, I trusted Cohen with far more.